Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Memorial Online, your supportive community for dealing with loss and grief. Today, we're tackling a very sensitive and crucial topic: children and grief. To shed some light on this, we've invited an expert, science journalist, Tom Anderson. Tom, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a subject that needs attention, and I'm glad we're discussing it.
So, Tom, my first question is this: grief is complicated for adults, but it's a different ballgame for children. What are the basic ways we can help children cope with loss?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to delve deeper into this. When a child experiences the loss of someone close to them, their sense of security can be severely shaken. This is where routine comes in as a stabilizing force. A study from Harvard Center on the Developing Child emphasizes that routines create a predictable environment, which is paramount for emotional regulation in children. This is crucial during times of loss because kids may feel like their whole world has been upended. Regular mealtimes, bedtimes, and even mundane activities like grocery shopping can help reaffirm their sense of normalcy. Now, beyond routine, there's also the aspect of open communication. One of the pitfalls in adult-child interactions during grieving is the attempt to shield kids from the emotional reality of loss. Often, adults do this with the best intentions, aiming to protect children from pain. However, studies, such as one published in the Journal of Clinical Child Psychology, show that this can be counterproductive. Children need to understand the permanence of the loss, and they need permission to grieve in their own way. This could mean asking questions that might seem tough to answer, like "Where did Grandpa go?" Or "Will I ever see him again?" Such questions, while difficult, are windows into a child's emotional and cognitive processing. They're trying to make sense of something profoundly disorienting, and it's okay for the answers to be complex, or even to admit when we don't have all the answers ourselves. Furthermore, children experience a whole gamut of emotions, not just sadness. They might even feel relief, particularly if the deceased was suffering from a prolonged illness. Some may feel guilt for being relieved, and they carry that heavy emotional burden. Through open dialogue, they can be reassured that these feelings are natural parts of the grieving process. In sum, providing a stable environment through maintaining routines, coupled with open conversations about the deceased, will go a long way in helping a child navigate through the confusing labyrinth of grief.
That's incredibly insightful, thank you. My next question would be about emotions. Sometimes kids can't express their feelings as clearly as adults can. What should we look for to know that a child is struggling with grief?
Certainly, let's unpack this a bit further. When children are grieving, they might not have the words to express what they're feeling, but their actions often speak volumes. This is why it's essential for adults to pay close attention to any changes in behavior as signals for deeper emotional struggles. According to a report from the American Academy of Pediatrics, you may observe that a child becomes less socially active, isolating themselves even from close friends. This withdrawal is often an attempt to process what has happened. Children may find the everyday chatter or play incongruent with their internal emotional state, which they might not fully understand themselves. Another indicator can be changes in sleep and eating patterns. Kids may suffer from insomnia, or they might sleep more than usual as an escape. Eating habits can also change dramatically. Some children might eat more as a form of comfort, while others may lose their appetite altogether. These changes are not just trivial, they are often coping mechanisms and are a cry for help. Let's also talk about acting out, which can sometimes be misinterpreted as bad behavior but is usually a way of expressing frustration, confusion, or sorrow. For instance, a child who is academically motivated might suddenly lose interest in schoolwork. A jovial and friendly kid might become irritable or aggressive. The key point here is that these behaviors are often the child's way of saying, "I'm struggling, and I don't know how to cope." It's worth noting that not all children will exhibit these symptoms, and some might appear unaffected on the surface. The absence of these signs doesn't necessarily mean the absence of grief, it could just indicate a different coping mechanism. So it's essential for caregivers to be vigilant and to approach changes in behavior with sensitivity and understanding. Instead of being quick to reprimand, it might be more beneficial to gently open a dialogue, asking questions like, "I've noticed you've been feeling down lately, do you want to talk about it?" The idea is to let them know it's safe to express whatever they're feeling, even if they can't put it into words.
Fascinating, that's really helpful advice. Lastly, kids have their own ways of processing information and emotions. What activities or outlets could be useful for children dealing with the pain of loss?
Absolutely. Let's delve into your third question regarding the role of professional help. The need for this often depends on how well the child seems to be coping. In some instances, family support and open conversations may be sufficient. However, there are cases where the grief appears to manifest in a more complex or prolonged manner. For example, the child might experience severe disruptions in school, recurring nightmares, or even signs of depression. This is when professional intervention becomes particularly valuable. According to the National Association of School Psychologists, early intervention can prevent the onset of more severe emotional or behavioral issues down the line. Child psychologists or grief counselors are trained to provide targeted interventions that can help children articulate their feelings, understand the permanence of loss, and build coping mechanisms. Moreover, research from the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry underscores the value of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, for children struggling with grief. Through CBT, kids learn to identify problematic thinking patterns and to replace them with more constructive thoughts and behaviors. For example, if a child is struggling with guilt about the last interaction they had with the deceased, a counselor can guide them through this complicated emotional landscape and help them arrive at a more nuanced understanding of their feelings. Group therapy can also be an effective avenue for healing. Children gain considerable emotional relief by sharing their experiences with peers who are going through similar situations. The group setting often helps to normalize their feelings and provides a community of emotional support. And let's not forget the role that school counselors can play, especially considering that children spend a significant amount of their time in school. In conclusion, professional help isn't a one-size-fits-all recommendation, but it offers specialized approaches that can be incredibly beneficial for children dealing with complex emotions associated with loss. It serves as a complementary support system that works hand in hand with the nurturing environment provided by family and friends.
Wow, I must say, that's a wealth of information. Thank you so much, Tom, for sharing your expertise with us today.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this knowledge on such a critical subject, and I hope viewers find these insights both valuable and actionable.
If you found this video helpful and informative, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Memorial Online for more resources and discussions on grieving and memorialization. We'll see you next time.